Hey, welcome to the channel. I have another video here that I think might be important to help educate people about the grandparent scam. Um, we have somebody here that, you know, um, had experienced it, and I'm hoping by you hearing their story that you can learn that it can happen to anyone. And the biggest thing that you can get out of any of this is if you know somebody it's happened to, please have them report it because we need to know every time this happens. Because if the scammer is from the United States and is local, law enforcement here would love to do nothing but scoop them up. And I hope you enjoy the video.
Parents often have a hard time saying no to their grandchildren, and this is something scam artists know all too well. Several variations of the Grandparents Con have surfaced over the years, and in a moment we'll provide you with some tips on how to avoid falling victim.
I'm Cole Finnegan, the United States Attorney for Colorado. It happened to my aunt, and it happened to the grandmother of one of our attorneys. Understandably, she would like to keep her identity and her grandmother's identity private.
My grandmother got a call saying that I had been arrested. The caller told her that she needed to send money for bail immediately, or else I would remain in jail for the duration of the criminal proceedings. The caller was pushy, and they seemed to know details about me, such as my name and where I lived. My grandmother was convinced that her granddaughter was, as the caller said, in serious trouble. Fortunately, another relative was home at the time, and they overheard my grandmother becoming increasingly upset talking to the fraudster. The relative hung up the line, but my grandmother was distraught, thinking that she had missed the one chance to help me. My grandparents called me after, and it wasn't until she spoke to me and I was able to reassure her that I was just fine and not in jail that she truly believed the caller was lying.
The best advice for avoiding this type of scam or any suspicious phone call is to hang up immediately.
They're absolutely right. Hang up immediately. I would call a family member. Let them know that you just received this call. They'll let you know if it's true. And, anybody calling looking for money, it's probably not true.
If you have caller ID and don't recognize an incoming phone number, just let it go to voicemail.
Now, also with the caller ID, just be aware that there are software out there and there are apps that allow you to change your caller ID to anything you want it to be. A lot of the times they'll put it as the police station, and they'll say that you have a warrant. They'll say that somebody was in an accident. Just because the caller ID says one thing does not mean that it's necessarily true. And they know that the elderly do not know about the technology. So we need to teach them.
Scammers will not leave a voicemail. If you
They don't want to leave anything behind. They'll call back or they'll try again, They won't leave a voicemail. Now if it was any type of accident or any type of situation like a legal situation, and it was legit, they would leave a voicemail. So if they don't leave a voicemail, it probably wasn't true. When they call back that it's probably fake, call a family member right away. I've set up a nonprofit, and, we have a website. It's elderlyonlinescams.com. You're welcome to hit support tab and, donate. What we do is we set up workshops throughout the elderly communities, and we educate them on the different scams. If you're unable to do that, I understand. All I ask is that you sit down with at least one elderly person and you explain how this works. Explain the technology to them and explain, do not ever give money out over the phone. And that also includes don't give any information like social security numbers or anything like that. Please subscribe, hit like, help us, get the word out there. We're trying to build this channel as an educational thing, to teach elderly and teach everybody else so that they can teach the elderly and their family.
If you do end up on the phone with someone unfamiliar to you, take a breath and resist the pressure to pay. Get off the phone and call or text the person who supposedly just called you. If you can't reach them, call a family member to confirm your grandchild's whereabouts, even though the scammer told you not to.
If you lost money to this type of scam, it was a crime, so report it to local law enforcement.
And
I can't stress that enough. Please, if this has happened to you, please do not feel embarrassed. It can happen to anyone. Call the fraud hotline, 1-833-FRAUD-11. That's 1-833-372-8311. Please give us the information so that we can go after these people and we could try to stop it. It happens so often, and every day somebody becomes a victim.
if you or someone you know is age 60 or older and has been a victim of financial fraud, help is available at the National Elder Fraud Hotline. The number is 1-833-FRAUD-11. That's 1-833-372-8311.
Again, please subscribe, please hit like, and leave us a comment. If you know somebody that's been scammed, tell us a story. We'll get it out there. We'll leave their names out, but we need the stories to be told. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the channel.